you're the best version of yourself now.
Oh, yeah.
I just turned 30. I feel like I'm at the sickest point in my life.
You'll get better.
You know,
You'll get better.
What was you like when you was 30? Because 30 is a milestone. You transition out of your 20s into late adulthood or wherever your prime, what it is, and your physical fitness. You're going to your peak to testosterone levels. How confident was you with 30 with who you was?
In my 20s, right? This is the thing I always say. In my 20s, you couldn't pay me now to be in my 20s. All the money in the world, I wouldn't want to be in my 20s. Confusing age. Your first decade as an adult. Very confusing age. You don't even know your ass from your whatever. Do you know what I mean? Right? When I hit 30, if I always say so, if you have a look at if you say it as in a graph, your 20s is like this. When you hit 30s, it goes like this, and then when you hit 40, you're like, right?
What does that mean, Mark?
Just means you're just chilling. You just know yourself.
Yes.
When you hit your 40s, right, nothing panics you, right? When you were younger, something panics you. You're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You eventually calm down, but when you're in your 40s, deep in your 40s, something hits you and you normally panic, right? You think you know yourself inside out. So you think, calm down, Mark. Any second now, you're going to be okay. Let's get right. I was out there, and I was just winding down a little bit because I was getting a little bit too old, and it was taking a lot out of energy bars. You know?
Yeah. So, holding your back off.
But I mean, even just going out and socialising and doing
rolling our eyes.
I was, but it wasn't. It was something that, you know. And I'll tell you what, it was something that I don't regret, because the person I am now, I love the person I am now. The person I was back then, I like myself. I'm in pockets nicking little bits of money out of there because I was born. I always say I was born bad, but I wasn't born bad. I was being rebellious. So, but as soon as my daughter come along and she needed me, that's it. Everything dropped in my whole life. But I say she needed me. I needed her as well. I needed her in my life.
I feel that.
I needed her to change my life. You know what I mean? I got to the point where I was fed up. I was empty. I was seeing a young girl have a little midlife crisis, you know, and I was just waiting to get rid of her, really. Do you know what I mean? Think of a good way to get rid of her. So then, you know, when my daughter come along, I started my fitness. That changed my life. I hooked up with this coach who taught me everything. Mike Mantle, Bosch, done well. Like I mentioned him, right? And he sort of like pushed me in the ways of how to train properly and who to look at, what podcast listens to, what coaches to look up and read their stuff, you know. And all along, I was still being a single parent to my daughter, you know. So we was both growing together, you know. She's still with me now. Do you know what I mean? She's amazing. She's an amazing person. Do you know what I mean?
Two things you touched on that we have to come back to. One is you mentioned your coach, your first coach. You speak of him highly.
Yeah.
Now we're both coaches now, and I think that's really important. The role, he educated you.
Yes.
And I have a common theme where I'm saying there's, you went to the PT Academy. You say the academy what it is.
Yeah.
PTs are popping out everywhere.
I knew you were going to ask this question.
But I like the fact that you mentioned, speak so highly of your first personal trainer, you called him your coach, your first coach. And how he educated you. So we'll touch on that later on in regards to the quality of what makes a good coach. Because the way he inspired you and got you to move from one point in your life to another point in your life. You know, I guarantee you'll never forget him.
No.
And you hold him in high regard.
I was just talking before we got on there. So I haven't told him I'm coming on there yet.
But not to digress from what we're currently talking about is the impact your daughter had on your life. I've got 2 girls.
Yeah, good stuff, man. But girls are
I had my first daughter when I was 21. She's turning 9 on Valentine's Day.
Wicked.
I've got my second little girl, Millie, who's now 14 months. Like you said, they don't need me. I need them.
That's right.
You know,
every man needs a daughter. Every man. I've got a son, and he's a boy's boy. He'll come in this room and hold the room. Everybody ever meets him, he's just like me, but he's a better version of me. He'll come in here, we'll sit there, and first of all, he's 15. He'll come in and say, hi, and you'll say, hi, so how are you? How's your day? Ask you about your day, ask you about your equipment, ask you about what's happening in here, ask you about how much you're earning, more likely, right? But that's the guy he is. He's a very confident, strong guy as well. You know, he's an intelligent guy. They're both of them both of them are into combat sports as well. So obviously, you know what I mean. But they're good kids. They're wicked kids. They're wicked. Not just my daughter.
So wait, how old is your son?
It's 15, and my daughter's 17 in March next month.
Right.
6.
Okay. So the link between you and your daughter and the impact she has on you is different to what your son has on you.
My son is I treat my son as a bloke. I always have done. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I told my daughter, I said the things that I said to her from day dot. I said it's not right, but the things what a bloke can get away with, women can't get away with. I said society deems that that's what happens. You know, so you know, men can go out and do things. They might be called this, but they won't be judged that. Whereas, if a woman does that, they're judged it straight away, and that's time for them for life. And that's the type of real life lessons I've teach my kids about life. You know,
me and Min were talking the other night, yeah, because we have a potential guest coming on. Won't spoil it, but we was talking about how girls can dress a certain way, women rather can dress a certain way, and I was saying potentially feed a stereotype or contribute to the fact that they're deemed as objects. And it's their response. They have a responsibility or free will to do whatever, but just know what you're contributing to technically.
Yeah.
And Min had a counter argument in regards to, from what I understand, well, if guys are dumb enough to spend their money and give you attention and engagement of it, then suck 'em dry sort of thing. Am I right or wrong, kind of?
What we were actually saying is that the way you or a man has been programmed that if a woman is dressed or behaving a certain way, then a man almost has a right to say or think a certain type of way. But when it comes to your daughter, I was saying be careful of those stereotypes that you apply, because we at some point have that responsibility to change the narrative, which, Mark, you're doing wonderfully.
Yeah.
And that's the honest thing is what I was saying to you, is that the way you see Mark just gave the example.
He said exactly
what I said to Kiefer
my
to
initial
do
reaction, with his daughter. Say my girl's 15, 16 years old. I'm just chilling, minding my business, having a good day, watching a podcast, preferably Everything Health. It's a Saturday, sunny. It's in May. It's hot outside. I hear flip-flops coming down the stairs. I'm walking, all I see is bare legs, crop top, a little choker. You know what we see nowadays. My initial reaction, what's going on here? Where are we going? What time are we going? You know, why? Sit down, let's have a talk about this. What do you think you're going to get when you dress like this? She said, you doing that is going to do a lot of detrimental harm to how she feels about herself internally. I didn't get that until she said it in the way she did.
Also,
and you literally mirrored the way I should word it about the world.
Yeah,
it's not your fault.
Nah,
and it's not right. Nah. However,
and it's another thing as well, because I was always I've always been this guy. I've always been opinionated. I've always been strong-minded. I don't know if I'll be honest with you. I don't think my parents could handle me. All right, because I'm always manipulative. I've always worded things to get my own way, right? So, you know, and they handled my discipline wrong. It wasn't their fault.
Right.
It wasn't their fault. Let's get that right. It wasn't their fault. They had some mad kid on their hands, right? Let's put it that way, right? But with my children, what I done from the day dot, I went round I'd love to be classed as a modern type, even though I do believe in old-fashioned values and how to bring up children, how children have to have respect for their parents. I was saying to you earlier on, children haven't got respect for their parents. How are they going to respect anybody else in the world? If you haven't got respect for the people that bring you into this world, literally grew you in their own womb, and then give birth to you, and then work their backsides off to trade for everything that you want, and you don't respect them, how can you respect Jay Blows walking down the street? How can you respect anybody? How can you respect it if you can't respect most people in your life? Now, for me, I like I was going back to what I was saying. I want to be classed as a modern day respect parent, but my children, I never shout at my children. I never hit them. Never shout at them. The other day, Louis done something that pissed me off, and all I did was talk. And bear in mind, little boy is he's got heart. He's not a little idiot. He's a boy's boy. And all I did was talk to him sternly. Tears run down his face.
How old is he?
He's 15.
This is the older one?
Yes, tears run down his face. Just because I spoke to him sternly about something. Wasn't turning him off. I wasn't giving him an ultimatum. I was just saying that was completely wrong and this is the way you should have been doing it. But I was doing it a little bit more. And he had tears running down because he took exactly what I was saying in without raising my voice and without raising my hand.
Do you think maybe it's because what we were talking about, me and you, when we had the earlier situation with your daughter, I was trying to highlight exactly this, that when the child or the teenager loves you so much, they don't want to disappoint you. That alone, you don't have to make them feel bad. You don't have to fear them or guilt trip into them. If your daughter then sees the disappointment on your face, it's going to kill her. So the fact that you didn't raise your voice, because then he can't rebel. And then he was like, I've disappointed my dad. My dad is everything. He's my hero. I want to be just like him. That reaction
though, from a parent's perspective, I have a good example and a bad example. At least she will do something. And I would say, we was talking about the first one. It's funny that in the outside world, you can't impact me. I impact you. But the people that can get to me are the ones closest to me. And in the second, what are you doing? Allow it. Where is it? I can snap. My daughter, she'll do something small. What are you doing that for, man? It's stress now. You make me have to do this and do that. I have to like cook, clean out, clean up this, And I snap at the smallest things. And I think there's a discipline in regards to parenting wise not to do that, because in turn, I know I got that from my parents. That snappiness. I mean, one day in the first lockdown, I live in a little estate. It's a cul-de-sac. So all the kids can play outside, which is rare. So she'll come downstairs, 9 a.m., throw in a little bag, pack a bag full of toys and play kit. She'd be gone outside playing out all day. And I love that. But she's the only girl out there. A bunch of little boys her age, all like 9, 10, 11. And I remember they come in one day, and at least she was a very good liar. I don't know where she gets it from, but she's very good at telling quick lies. Talk quick. And you don't know where
I wonder where she gets that from.
Listen, it's not for me. I've got a clue.
I'm a bad liar. I'll tell you that, bitch. You don't get it from me.
You're a great salesman.
Yeah, she comes, she runs in now, not playing inside. I'm like, what's going on now? I'm just chilling now. Guys run in. Oh, Alicia done this. She swore and said this. Boom, boom, boom. She's swearing. She's calling, saying the B word. Da, 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 da. And she's like, no, I never. Boom, boom, boom. And then I said, all right, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Like, get out of my garden. And then I bring her in the kitchen. I'm not even mad because I remember I always used to lie to my dad. Always. I remember he used to tell me, no matter how mad I'm at you, man will never kill you. Even though it may seem like it. So just tell me the truth and I can back you. And I never got that until now. And I remember I go to her, look, I'm not even mad at you. But if you said the B word, just say to me now. And I'll go out there and I can back you. If you've done something in school and you tell me exactly what happened, so when I go there's no surprises, I will get you out of trouble. Because later in life, when you want to go to the park and that's across the road, it's a bit further away, I need to trust if something happens, I know all the facts. Don't let me go there and find out something new. Make me look like a fool. And then that's with distrust, because you want to go to the park by yourself. But if I can't trust you to pattern a certain way, then I'm going to feel reserved. And when I said that to her, I'm not mad, just disappointed. So don't lie to me no more. Do you understand? And then she just humbled. The first time she just sat there, all right, yeah, getting out. You can see when the clocks are turning. She still lies, but I think that's an ongoing thing you got to install.
The thing what you were saying about, right at the beginning of this, what you're saying about how sometimes you snap and you're thinking you shouldn't. Listen, when I was a younger dad, I snapped a few times. And then as I got a little bit older, bear in mind I had my first child at 32. And then I had Louis at 34. Paris at 32, Louis at 34. Until, I'd say about probably... So it was about 30, so Lou is about 4, so I was about 38, say 37, 38. That's when I started bringing my new approach to it, my new approach to parenting, because I had that initial bit was, stop doing that, do you know what I mean? But it wasn't having no positive impact on it, you know? And then I started thinking about, like I said to you, how my parents reacted to me. It was either like, listen, you're doing that or you're doing that. There's no in-betweens. There's no compromise. There's no trying to sit there and try to understand and, and explain to them why the reasons why you want them to do it for, and say to them, listen, all right, then, if you do this, then I'll be able to do this for you, and things like this. And this is how my whole approach to parenting is now, is from when I was younger and I was doing the snapping, like, like yourself. But like I said to you, as you got, it's not patronizing to you at all, bro, but as you get older, right, you chill. Yeah. You mellow out. You sit there and you think to yourself, right, this negative sort of impact that I'm having, the snappiness and this thing.
I recognize
it's only going to get a negative reaction back. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's a fearful reaction, even if it's a reaction where they're not even communicating to you, it's a negative reaction. What you want from your children is trust. You want them to trust you. You were talking about them. They've got to know that you can trust them. You got to know that they can trust, especially with girls. The worst thing what can happen to a girl, you want them, I can't tell my dad, I can't tell my dad, I can't tell. No, you want them to pick up the phone straight. I want my daughter to say, listen, my dad, it doesn't matter, wagwan. If shit is a fan, I can pick up the phone to him and say, Dad, what's happening? I said, don't worry, babe, I've got you. All right? I've got you. Let's get this sorted out. Whatever we got to sort out, we got to sort out together. Do you know what I mean? So she can have the ultimate trust in me. She can tell me anything. You know what I mean? She'll ring me up and go, Dad, I ain't got no tampons. Sorry, Paris. right? And she'll go, and I'll go, cool, no worries, I'll get it in for you. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or there's other personal stuff as well that she spoke about, which I won't do, Paris, and I won't say what it is. And we'll sort it out amongst ourselves. You know? It's like the other day, I said to her, okay, it's Paris, she's only 16. She's not whatever, but I said to her, listen, are you on the pill? She's gone, well, I'm in. And I said, well, get yourself on the pill. Next thing you know, I read a delivery from NHS, and there's a delivery, a thing, more so to regulate her periods and things like that. Do you know what I mean? I know about them things. You got to know about them things when you're a single parent. You know what I mean? Because her mum doesn't really have much to do with her because of X amount of reasons. I'm not gonna